Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we're going to try to help you get a handle on what's happening with New Gold, the gold mining company.
Hmm.
We've got a pretty interesting mix of sources here, some recent stock analyses and technical breakdowns, and then also some market commentary. So it should give us a really solid overview of where things stand with this company.
Yeah, it's really quite interesting to see New Gold making some strategic moves right now, especially with the gold market being so strong these days.
It is fascinating. And gold prices, they seem to be continuing that upward trend, huh? Hitting those record highs above $2,900 per ounce.
Right. We've seen gold really take off as a safe haven asset.
Hmm.
And there are a lot of factors contributing to this. President Trump's tariffs have created some global trade uncertainty, which has had a weakening effect on the US dollar. And all of these factors are leading investors to shift their focus to gold as a more stable investment, during times of economic volatility.
Okay, so New Gold has two main mines in Canada, Rainy River and New Afton. How is this surge in gold prices impacting their operations specifically?
Well, as a gold producer, New Gold is really perfectly positioned to benefit from these high prices. Higher gold prices mean their output is more valuable. So that translates to higher revenues and potentially larger profits for the company.
Okay, so it sounds like they're in a pretty good spot then. And they've also been making headlines recently with this refinancing move, that $400 million senior notes offering to refinance some of their existing debt. Can you walk us through what that actually means, for listeners who might not be familiar with the intricacies of corporate finance?
Oh, certainly. So in the simplest terms, it's essentially swapping out their old debt, which probably had higher interest rates for new debt that will hopefully come with more favorable interest rates. Think of it like refinancing your mortgage to get a better deal and lower your monthly payments.
I see. So what are the potential benefits for New Gold if they pull this off successfully?
There's a lot to gain potentially. If they can secure those lower interest rates, they could significantly reduce their interest expenses. And that would free up more cash flow, which would give them more financial flexibility to invest in their operations. Maybe even explore new opportunities, or perhaps return value to shareholders through dividends or share buybacks. It also presents New Gold as a financially savvy company, which can make them more attractive to investors.
It does sound like a smart move, but I understand we don't have all the details about these new notes just yet.
That's right. We still need more information about the specific terms of the notes, the interest rate, the maturity date, and any other conditions that might be attached. All of these things will play a huge role in determining the actual impact of this refinancing. It's something we'll definitely want to keep an eye on.
So investors shouldn't get too excited just yet, but it's certainly a positive development to watch. Now, shifting gears a bit, we don't have New Gold's fourth quarter earnings for 2024 yet. But are there any indicators from the broader gold mining sector that might give us some clues about what to expect?
Absolutely. Companies like Alamos Gold are reporting really impressive earnings and increased production. They're attributing a lot of the success to those high gold prices we've been discussing.
Okay, so New Gold has been emphasizing cost control at Rainy River and increasing copper gold production at New Afton. Do you think they're likely to experience similar positive trends as Alamos Gold, given the favorable market conditions?
It's certainly a possibility. New Gold's operating within the same market dynamics, benefiting from these high gold prices, but we'll need to see their earnings report, which should be coming out soon, to get a clearer picture of their actual performance.
So listeners should mark their calendars for late February or early March for those earnings. Now let's delve into the technical aspects a bit. How has New Gold stock been performing recently? What are the charts telling us?
Looking at the recent price action, it's been a bit volatile. New Gold closed at $2.72 on February 25th, which was down from a recent high of $3.25.
So a bit of a pullback there. What are your thoughts on this recent dip?
Well, there are a few potential explanations. It could be that some investors decided to take profits after the stock's strong run-up, or it could simply be a natural consolidation phase after a period of rapid growth. The market often takes a breather after a significant upward movement.
Makes sense. And are there any particular support and resistance levels we should be paying attention to?
Yes, those are important indicators. We're seeing support around $2.71, and resistance is currently hovering around $2.81. These levels act as psychological barriers for the stock price. Support tends to act like a floor, preventing the price from dropping further, while resistance is like a ceiling, making it harder for the price to break through.
So if the stock dips below $2.71, that could potentially signal a buying opportunity for some investors.
It could, as it might indicate a good entry point. Conversely, if the stock manages to break above that resistance level of $2.81, it could trigger more buying activity and potentially lead to a further upward price movement.
Gotcha. What about momentum indicators? Is there anything we can glean from tools like the Relative Strength Index or RSI to gauge the stock's potential?
The RSI can be a valuable tool for understanding momentum. It appears the stock was overbought in February when the price was peaking, but it might be cooling off now.
Can you explain what overbought means in this context for our listeners?
In simple terms, it means the stock's price had risen too quickly relative to its recent performance, suggesting that a correction or pullback might be imminent. As the RSI cools down, it could indicate that the market is finding a more balanced valuation, which could be a positive sign for potential buyers.
So far, New Gold seems to be in a strong position, benefiting from the robust gold market and taking strategic steps to strengthen its financial position. But I'm sure there are some potential risks to consider as well.
Of course, every investment comes with some inherent risks. And while the outlook for new gold looks positive, it's really crucial to acknowledge those potential downsides as well.
Okay, so let's talk about those risks. What are some things that could derail New Gold's success?
Well, one concern is that the refinancing, while a smart move in theory, might not yield the expected outcomes. They may encounter some unforeseen obstacles in securing favorable interest rates, or the integration of this new debt into their financial structure could be more complex than anticipated.
So some execution challenges are a possibility. What other factors should investors be wary of?
Perhaps the biggest risk is the inherent volatility of gold prices. While gold is currently performing well, driven by that safe haven demand, those market conditions can change very quickly. A sudden drop in gold prices could significantly impact New Gold's revenue and profitability.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that even though gold is shining brightly now, that luster can fade.
Precisely. And there's another layer of risk we should consider, the broader market conditions. Some analysts are predicting a potential downturn in the S&P 500, and such a market correction could have a ripple effect, impacting the entire gold sector, including New Gold, even if the fundamentals of the gold market remain strong. In times of market uncertainty, investors tend to react defensively, selling off assets indiscriminately. This can lead to a decline in stock prices across the board, regardless of a company's individual performance.
So New Gold is not immune to these external forces. So we've explored both the promising aspects and the potential pitfalls. What's your overall assessment? Is New Gold a good investment opportunity?
That's a tough question, and it's a question every investor must answer based on their individual circumstances. We've tried to provide a comprehensive overview of New Gold, their strategic moves, the state of the gold market, the potential upside, and the inherent risks. All this information should equip our listeners to make their own informed decisions.
Right. We've examined the record high gold prices, New Gold's proactive refinancing strategy, their potential for strong earnings growth, the technical analysis of their stock, and both the bull and bear cases for investing in the company. What are the key things listeners should be watching for in the coming weeks and months?
Well, New Gold's upcoming earnings report will be a crucial data point. It will give investors a clearer understanding of the company's operational performance and financial health. It's also essential to stay informed about the trajectory of gold prices. Continued upward momentum in gold prices would bode well for New Gold. However, any significant declines could really impact their financial prospects.
That earnings report will be released in late February or early March, and investors can follow gold prices through various financial news outlets.
Right, and as we've discussed, New Gold's refinancing efforts are a significant development. It will be interesting to see how the details of the senior notes offering unfold and what impact it ultimately has on their financial flexibility.
Any final thoughts for our listeners as they navigate this complex investment landscape?
Investing is about balancing those potential rewards with the potential risks. It's crucial to conduct thorough research, assess your own risk tolerance, and develop an investment strategy that is aligned with your individual goals. The insights we've shared today can help you make more informed decisions regarding New Gold or any other investment opportunity.
We hope this discussion has been helpful for our listeners. Before we wrap up, I'd like to pose a final question. If gold prices continue their ascent toward that $3,000 per ounce milestone, how high do you think New Gold stock could potentially climb?
That's an intriguing question. It depends on several factors, including how effectively New Gold manages its operations and capitalizes on the favorable market conditions. We encourage listeners to kind of delve deeper into their research and explore the possibilities.
Excellent point. Remember, knowledge is power in the investing world. We encourage all our listeners to do their own due diligence and seek advice from qualified financial professionals before making any investment decisions.
Absolutely. We're here to provide insights and analysis, but ultimately investment decisions are very personal and should be made with careful consideration.
We appreciate you joining us today on Investing Talk podcast for this insightful discussion on new gold. We'll continue to bring you informed analysis of the companies and trends shaping the investment landscape.
We're really passionate about empowering investors with the knowledge and insights they need to make sound financial decisions. Be sure to stay tuned for future episodes.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please show your support by subscribing to our podcast, liking this video, and leaving a comment below. We appreciate your feedback and engagement. As we've been talking about new gold, it's kind of become apparent that their future is really tied to the price of gold.
Yeah, that's a key takeaway here. While the company is making strategic moves to improve its operations and financial stability, those external market forces, especially the price of gold, are going to continue to play a significant role in their success.
It just underscores the fact that investing always involves a degree of uncertainty, even with the most diligent planning and execution.
Right, exactly. This deep dive has really, I think, provided a comprehensive understanding of New Gold's current position, highlighting both the opportunities and the risks that they face.
So we've given our listeners, I think, the information they need to kind of assess whether new gold aligns with their own individual investment strategies.
Yeah, and remember, there's no one-size-fits-all answer when it comes to investing. These decisions should always be based on your individual financial goals, your risk tolerance, and of course, thorough research.
We encourage our listeners to continue exploring new gold and the gold mining sector as a whole. Stay informed about market trends, company news, and those expert analyses.
And if you're interested in learning more about other companies and investment opportunities, be sure to subscribe to Investing Talk podcast.
We're dedicated to providing our listeners with valuable insights and analysis to help them navigate these complexities of the financial markets.
We really believe that knowledge is key to successful investing, and we're here to empower you with the information you need to make sound financial decisions.
Thank you for joining us today on Investing Talk podcast for this in-depth look at new gold. We hope you found this discussion insightful and informative. And if you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing to our podcast, giving us a like, and leaving a comment. We really appreciate your feedback and support.
We're always looking for ways to improve our content and provide valuable insights to our listeners. Until next time, happy investing.